We are.
This meeting is called to order. As you all know, we're here to appoint a new council member for the District 2 seat. I'm going to try to keep this as quick as possible. Be mindful of everybody's time. I will explain how these are going to look this evening. So I'll give each candidate an opportunity to introduce themselves to council. There won't be a time limit, but again, I'll ask you to be mindful of this and your time. Additionally, directly after introducing yourself, I'll open the floor for questions from council if they so choose. Additionally, after everyone has introduced themselves and council has an opportunity to ask the questions, council will vote by ballot. Council, you all mark your preferred candidate on the ballot and pass it out to me. In the event that there's a three-way tie, I will not break the tie. I'm not eligible to. If there's a three-way tie, we're going to vote again. We're going to take the vote that didn't get any votes off in consideration. And we'll vote again until somebody gets 2 votes. If somebody gets 2 votes, they'll be appointed to the council and sworn in on February 7, 2022. And with that being said, we'll just go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to call everybody up and order on our ballot. So first, we'll go with D. Annette Crump Bowser. Is she here? She's not here. Bowser. William Lee Bowser? That's me. Yeah. You don't have to worry about it. Because, like I said, take a moment to introduce yourself, and then I'll open up the floor for questions.
William Bowser. I've lived here in Fletcher, been here for 6 years. I work with the Flint group. I've served on the past board in Troutman, North Carolina. And any questions you have?
Questions from council?
What made you decide you wanted to serve on council?
Well, again, I've served on the council before. I consider myself a community person. The reason I came to this area is my first wife passed. I lived in the Troutman area for 30 years. I was extremely involved in the community there. Had my own real estate company, and her and I worked together. And when she passed, I just decided it was time for a change of scenery. And my wife, Annette, who didn't show up, she's lived here for quite some time. And I met her on the internet, and that's how we got together, and we're coming up on 7 years next month.
What's the population of Trout?
Right now, it's probably around 2,500. It was a small community between 1,800 and 2,000 when I was there. It was sandwiched between Statesville and Mooresville. They kind of pushed us in the middle, and so.
What would be your vision for Fletcher in comparison to what you did for Trout?
Well, Troutman was growing a lot. I mean, it's part of the Charlotte metro area, and it was just exploding from Lake Norman. I think I see a lot of growth here in just a short time I've been here. The advantages here is you have railroad, you have airport. You're going to have more industry coming in. I think that you hold to the traditions of the town, but at the same time, it's obviously evolving. It's going to change, and it has to move forward in the future. As far as the future, I would like to see it as a very family-oriented community that's based on quality of life, not sheer quantity of things.
In a broad sense, can you describe your experience serving on the Troutman career?
I was on the Troutman Town Board for 8 years. The last 3 I was the mayor pro tem. Again, we did a lot of development. A lot of people come in to build a lot of things. I was on the Charlotte Regional Board for Growth, so I saw the whole area grow. I enjoyed my time. I was very into the community, out and around, spent time with people, see what they had to say, not what I thought they had to say. That's a big difference. See what people say, not what you think they say. And that was just, I enjoyed doing it. It was a calling for me. It wasn't about anything other than do what's right for the citizens.
What do you think your biggest strength is? Like someone just, what's the best thing, what's the best skill set you have to offer?
I think I communicate well. I resolve issues if they arise. The main thing is listen. You'd be surprised what you learn if you just listen and let everybody have their say. understand what they're saying and what the reasonings are behind it, and then approach it analytically, understanding all the variables, and then make good decisions that are the best for most people, if you can do that. And there's going to be some people who are going to be upset. It's just the nature of things. But you always try to do what's right for the community, especially looking wrong if you can.
So you're very familiar with the fact that if you serve on council, you better have a thick skin.
You have a tendency to get what for it, yeah. It happens.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything you vote on, there's going to be a substantial number of people that aren't going to agree with you, and they're going to think you're the enemy. I mean, you have to be able to go with that.
You just have to see the facts. You have to see, where you want to take the community, and try to make sure that you're being impartial and level at all
Right.
times. You don't lean one way or the other. You try to stay in the middle and just be straightforward and honest. And again, have a thick eye, because it's going to come. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Anything else?
No?
Thank you, Mr.
All
Ballard.
right, thank you.
Next on our ballot is Jeff Grove, who is absent this evening. So we'll go to Minister Sean K. Thompson.
I missed the intro. Do we have a certain thing that we need to talk about or just describe? Sorry, I'm late.
You're okay.
I'm Sean Thompson. I live at 99 Justice Street, down the way, kind of behind the post office. I've lived here all my life. Went to school at Veritas, which used to be Fletcher Elementary. Seen the town grow. I've actually had the privilege of knowing both of the men on the wall there. I was actually in the room when Bob Parrish and Ronnie Frady, Doris Thompson, and Bill Moore started about the early days of Fletcher, their vision for it, and it's trying to keep it from being annexed from the Asheville area. And what those guys have accomplished has been amazing in the last 20 years, 25 years. You guys have done a great job. Everybody's done really good keeping it, kind of like Mr. Bowser said, family oriented and just a place people want to live. I also had the privilege of being Bill Moore's neighbor for the last 40 years, and the junk that was on that front porch over the last 20 or 30 years, and I think I saw you on that front porch.
Yeah.
It was a good time and learned a lot and how to work with people and just Bill, as we all know, had the amazing ability to disagree with somebody in a way that almost made you want to buy his lunch, and I learned a lot from that. Again, I've seen this town grow to what it is. Short little stories. At my time at Fletcher Elementary, it must have been about 3rd or 4th grade, and the teachers took us on a field trip. And what we had to do is we had to hold a jump rope as little 4th graders. We had one teacher in the front, one teacher in the back, and they took us down and we toured the Fletcher Post Office, which is now Dan Gilbert Insurance. And then we went across the street and we toured the Fletcher Fire Department, which is now the stereo place. And then the crown and jewel, we got to go down to this red building down here that has the best hamburgers and milkshakes, which is now called Blue Sky Cafe. It used to be called Burger Inn. So that's how long I've been in this town and saw it. So the reason I wanted to run, this town gave me a lot. I also built houses on the side. I built 10 houses in the city limits within the last 10 years, and worked with Eric Ruffa and his crowd on that kind of stuff. So Fletcher's given me a lot, and it's just I feel like it's time to give something back.
What do you see as the most pressing issues facing Fletcher?
Affordable housing, quite frankly. As a builder, I'm seeing everything going for, $350,000 is entry-level housing anymore. And the main reason is most builders want to build those big houses to make a lot of profit. And the houses that I've built have been sold well before I've even finished them. And I've built the same plan pretty much over and over. And that's been like 1,500 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And again, it sells before it's made because nobody's doing that. It's either these apartments or these complexes or whatever. And, owning a house is still the American dream. So instead of these big complexes and such, I'd like to see some smaller houses going in so that the people that work here, I work at Flintburg down the road as well with Mr. Bowser, and, our folks are $19, $20 an hour, and it's sad because they can't even afford to live here. They're having to go down to Canton or Eddyville or places like that. So, I would like to see, more affordable kind of housing, in a nice way, not a slum thing.
It's a tough tough nut to crack.
It really is. And the property owners, you can't tell them what to do with it. That's a quote from Bill Moore. He said, when you buy property and somebody wants to put a pig farm next to it or whatever, you can't tell people what to do with the property. And I've supported that ever since. I've been in here talking about the burn ban before and all that. So I kind of stand up for the citizens' rights as well.
Appreciate it, Sean.
Yep.
We appreciate your investment in the town when you built homes and stuff, and I consider us friends, but, so I just have to ask, what drives you to do it now? Like, why haven't you served in years? I mean, I know why I did and how long I did, and it was raising a family, so I was just curious as much as the ties with the town.
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with it. I have a single son, and you may know him, and he's a handful, and he's just now turning into teen years. And so between that and then the construction business and working full time, it's just been busy. But I knew about the vacancy, and I guess we could have run. I guess when the election was or whatnot, but now it just seems like the right time.
Any other questions?
Thank you, guys.
Okay. And Mr. Jonathan Keith Reed.
Hello, everybody. My name is Keith Reed. I've lived in Fletcher for over 15 years. I've been a business owner here for over 10 years. I currently am on the planning board with Eric Rufa. I'm in my second term. I really like being involved in my community, whether it's helping out at the schools or coaching baseball down here at the fields or whatever it is. I've always tried to be committed. We have our cancer walk, we always go down there and promote it and try to keep our community going strong. I also would like to see the fair housing be in our area. I think it's important to keep things affordable. We live in a great area, and I hope that everybody gets to enjoy a little bit of it. So, I've been in construction for most of my life. I've managed hundreds of HOAs. I worked for a company, and that's what we did. But I've been in commercial construction, residential commercial, land development. Designed and engineered trusses for 14 years.
That's what I was getting ready to ask you. It seemed like I remembered you submitting some previous experience I did see on the application this time. I was trying to remember what it was.
I just kind of bundled it as 30 years of experience because I've done a lot in that time.
Commercial, residential.
Land development. So I've dealt with all these different aspects with contractors and engineers and architects. I've dealt with for most of my life as well. I feel like I can always listen to everybody's opinion, soak it up, and come back with a good, solid response. And I always have a reason for why I select something. It's not just a whim or a 50-50 chance. I usually have a pretty good opinion on stuff.
Can you describe your experience on the planning board, what you like, what you dislike, what you found that you learned was valuable?
I really enjoyed being on the planning board. It was nice being respected and having people come in and give you their ideas, and you get to help try to lead things. And it's a lot of just paperwork and understanding what rules are allowed and what's not allowed. So it's it comes to council after that point. But it's a good position. And if I'm not chosen for this position, I will most definitely continue that. Because I like to serve my community.
Any more questions for council?
Thank you.
Next up, we have Mr. Brian Edward Slusser.
My name is Brian Slusser. My family moved here in 1989, and I've been back and forth over the Henderson County, Buncombe County line for the last 30 years between Arden and Fletcher, Arden and Fletcher, Arden and Fletcher. I was a Buncombe County Sheriff's deputy working in the jail. Worked there for 4 years, kind of got a different idea of what was going on with folks in that capacity. The question y'all ask everybody else is, why now? Why now? And my only answer is I've lived here for 30 years. I've been fed and watered and everything else here, but I've never done anything to make it better. And that would be my hope, is that I'd have some sort of say, if you will, to make things better for everyone. Because everything I've ever done has been in a service capacity. I've been a EMT, I've been in a sheriff's office, I worked in the neurotrauma intensive care unit at Mission Hospital. I'm incredibly nervous right now.
Probably.
I'm like going rapid fire here, so open book, ask me whatever you got.
Can you talk about your experience as an EMT and a law enforcement officer, and how some of those experiences may translate to you serving on council?
Sure. So the very first thing I was an EMT basic for first with Buncombe County and then for the Regional Transport Service, which is Mission Hospitals, taking patients to other hospitals that need treatment there. And you just learn this, you have to be able to talk to everyone, to anyone about whatever. You know, you have to speak to a small child about what has just dramatically happened to them just as much as you have to talk to an elderly person that's just fallen down in their home. You have to be able to approach everyone and be approachable. And I carried that into working in the detention center, working in the jail with folks, being locked in a room with 46 other people. I believe you asked one of the other gentlemen, like, how thick a skin do you have? And I'm like, I got locked in a room with 46 guys that broke the law, you know, and that was my 12-hour day. You have to have the ability to avoid conflicts. You have to be able to talk to people in a manner to get them to respect your position. Maybe not your opinion, but at least your position in why you chose what you did.
What's, just out of curiosity, what is Slope Solutions do? What kind of business is that?
We sell a subcompact tractor called the Ventrac. It's about a $40,000 piece of equipment that is used to mow on 30-degree slopes. It can mow sideways.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been doing that. If you're familiar in the area, most people are, Bob Lawrence Power Equipment. That's who owns it. When we closed down our store in downtown Nashville, we opened right here in Arden, Slope Solutions, but it's still the same outfit, been going for 70 years. So.
Very interesting. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, council? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And Mr. Dan Murphy.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Dan Murphy. I've been living in Fletcher for going on 25 years. Same house, South Chase, Front Crest Drive. Have 3 kids. I've raised them all. They're born and raised in that house. Went to Fletcher Elementary, Apple Valley Middle, and went to Henderson High. Now they're off in college. Been pretty active in the community here over the years. Started off probably about 2003 or so, coaching baseball for Fletcher Youth Baseball. 3 of my sons, well actually 3 of them were playing for a while, and then 2 of the 3 continued on until they were about 12 or 13. So I was coaching both of them. So it was for about 10 years. So it was sort of more like I was coaching for about 20 years because doing both of them. Let's see, it was active in Fletcher Elementary School with her education and volunteering there. Did quite a bit of that. What I do for a living is I'm a hydrogeologist. I work for the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality. Been doing that for about 18 years. Before that, I was a geotechnical and engineering geologist. I did that for about 5 years. And worked for a consulting company here in the mid-90s. So kind of going backwards in what I did there, but currently still work with the NCDEQ. It's an enjoyable job. I'm a regulator for them. I work with the public a lot, deal with all kinds of complaints that come in, and I mostly do report reading and keep our databases current. But a lot of what I do has to do with spills and complaints and neighbor against neighbor, and so there are some skill sets I think I would be pretty good at as far as being a council member here is dealing with the public and trying to appease two different viewpoints. So I think trying to be as neutral as possible and yet serve the interests of the public is what my philosophy would be. So anyway, that's sort of my background and what I currently do. I also teach at AB Tech. I've been teaching geology there since 2004. Currently teaching there this semester as well. That's a morning class on Monday and Wednesday, which wouldn't conflict with, my nights are pretty much open, so none of that work and stuff like that interferes. The last thing that I've done as far as community involvement is about the last 3 or 4 years I've been umpiring down the Fletcher Park for baseball. My coaching experience, etc., I've been helping out with umping. So I do that. I'm probably hear something from them here in a few weeks to do that, but that goes from year to year. I don't know if I'm going to do that again this year. But anyway.
You're very busy.
Yeah, we didn't, not too long-winded.
We're going to do it again this year, or you weren't going to do it?
Well, every year it's kind of, you wind up calling me and say we don't have enough umpires, so, but then at the end of the year, I'm like, I think I've done enough of that now. But
regardless, you'd be able to work around the meetings that we would have.
Oh, yeah, for sure. First of all, there are I think Mondays are the meeting nights here. So, yeah, that would be, there would be baseball games that night, but wouldn't have to do it.
Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, we have 2 regular meetings a month. The first Monday of the month is the agenda meeting. They're both at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. And the second Monday of the month is the council meeting. And sometimes there are, like tonight, a special call meeting. And if you get on council, you may end up volunteering for some other organization within the community. Like I'm on 2 different, I'm on the Henderson County Transportation Advisory Board, and I'm on the Regional Transportation Advisory Board. So there are other opportunities, but there again, you can work around your work schedule. I've been on council for a long time. When I first started on council, I was working full-time, and I just couldn't do all those other things. It was after I retired that I really got involved in these other things. So you can work around it.
Did you say you had a Monday and Wednesday class for every day?
Yes, it's Monday and Wednesday at early in the morning.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm done with that long before this would start. And then after that ends early in the morning, then I do my other job after that. So actually, my regular geologist job works a little bit around my AB Tech schedule. Yeah, when that's in session.
Anything else from council?
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, appreciate it.
And did Deanna Bowser? Yeah, if you don't mind to come up and say a little bit about yourself, and I'll give the council opportunity to ask you some questions.
Well, I have lived in Fletcher over 20 years now. I'm originally from North Carolina. I moved up here, I think in '93, just in time for the blizzard. So I was interested in the position mostly because I've lived here for so long and just had that personal interest in wanting the community to be as good as it can, help in some way that I could. I live right up here at Sycamore Cottages, so I work full-time for a company called MCM Brands. You may know them under the Koozie Group. We make items for colleges, everything that has logos, but I'm off on the weekends and at night and can be available other times if needed. So, a little bit about me.
Question? Council? What do you see are the most important issues in Fletcher? What's important to you in Fletcher?
Well, I would say making it a clean, safe environment. I go to the park a lot, so I like all the park activities. I probably want to have a special interest in that to see what we can do for the community through the park. I know they do a lot of stuff now. Keeping everything clean, safe for the children. and to see where the growth is gonna go and where the money might be allocated for certain things. I know that they were talking about sidewalks and bikeways and things like that, things that are just sort of community interest, I guess.
What do you envision is your strongest attribute, your strongest
I think probably
skill set?
negotiations. I've been in sales for a long time as an account manager or inside sales. So I think working with people and negotiations are probably my strongest business skills.
Anything else? We appreciate it. Okay, now that we've been through everybody, council, just take a moment if you're ready. Oh, go ahead, Bob. Sorry.
I just wanted to say a couple of things. First of all, I know there was some question early on in this process when I nominated someone. There were various accusations made about that, but the reason I did what I did, my son was getting ready to have a baby, and I knew I was going to be out of town for almost a month, and I just didn't want this position to come open and have no one apply for it. So I threw the name out there. It was not saying that that is the only candidate, the best candidate, but anyway. I also wanted to say that I'm very impressed with the quality of the people that have applied for this job here that we're voting on tonight. I mean, we have not had this kind of interest in filling positions in a long time here at Fletcher. So I'm really glad to see that so many people have volunteered to get involved. And if you're one of the people that don't make it tonight, I strongly recommend looking at other positions the town has to offer, either on the planning board or the recreation board. There's a number of different volunteer opportunities that you can help the community with. That's all I had to say.
I'll take off, definitely second. I appreciate everybody that's applied, whether you get it or not. Anybody that's willing to serve this community, it's hard work, it takes a lot of time out of your day, long nights thinking about whatever is on your plate, and anybody that's willing to serve, I appreciate you. I don't know if anybody else thinks this.
I echo both what Preston and Bob said. But in this position, it's a temporary held position till the next election, and I encourage everyone to think about even the next election. And Bob nailed it right on the head. Everybody on this list right here is very, very comfortable of doing the position, and some great applications. So thank you for applying. Personally, thank you for applying. Thank you for everything that you're doing, and thank you for willing to step up and represent Fletcher.
It makes you wish that you had several positions available.
Exactly.
Echo what they say, same thing. There's so many different opportunities, and some of you have some special skill sets that if you don't get nominated, please know that we will probably be picking your brain. We will probably be coming and looking you up and saying, you have a particular area that expertise that we need some help with on a particular issue. So appreciate everyone that applied.
Mayor and council, if it's okay, I just say, we've got other boards and commissions like Planning Board and Parks and Rec, Advisory Board, and some of the applicants that have submitted here, I think, have put in for some of our Planning Board vacancies currently pending. So those are also some other opportunities for people to be considered. It has to be approved by council on those. But just FYI on that, I think you may be aware of that, but if you weren't, some of these folks that have put in and are on the ballot here also, I think have submitted for planning board vacancies. So
Is there anything on the Rex board open now? Just the.
I'm not sure. Do we have any vacancies?
Not at the moment.
Parks and Rec?
But they come open on a regular basis.
Planning board has, I was trying to recall in the email.
We have
Three
definitely
positions?
one, but close to three,
Okay.
with some people coming off. I think technically one, but we're going to expecting two more, so there'll be a total of three. There's a lot of moving parts there right now with But that's always, again, an opportunity to serve and be considered.
And Pat Clark, your dad, and one more.
Planning board is one of
Yeah.
the more important and the busiest boards in the town. Those people really, they work for that position. And I just want to make it clear, I don't know if we made it clear enough up front, but the way this council, the way we are governed, if there's anytime there's an official vote, the mayor does not vote unless it's a tie, so he breaks a tie. And so since we have an empty seat, basically it's, the three of us are we'll be voting first. If all three of us pick different people, then his vote could break the tie.
No, I can't break a tie either because every vote's in the affirmative. So if there were 2 people over here and 2 people over there, and there's 2 ayes, 2 nays, then I can break the tie.
Oh, really?
But technically, every vote's in the affirmative here, so.
Oh, okay, I thought it was just to break a tie.
No, I won't
You've
vote
got an
at all.
odd number with the
Okay.
current three
Okay.
council members, so.
I stand corrected.
So whoever gets the 2 votes, that's our person. So if y'all are ready, I can mark y'all's ballots, and if you need to vote again, we'll vote again. Okay, it is unanimous. Mr. Jonathan Keith Reed will be appointed to the District 2 seat and will be sworn in at the first Monday in February.
And like I said, I hope all you who didn't get on, try for some other position, try running at the next election, something like that. We live in a very special town, and it's special because of the commitment of the people that are serving here. We've done an excellent job so far of having people on council over all these years that are doing things for the right reasons. I mean, you look at what this town's accomplished since it became incorporated in 1989, and it's phenomenal. But it's because people are doing things for the right reasons, so keep trying.
In 2 years, it's going to be about a little while.
Yeah.
It's actually less than 2 years now.
Yeah. Any other comments from council? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?